Hello traders, welcome to the AIFO live stream. I am just going to be doing technical analysis on the live markets, just waiting for the London session to start, which starts in about 10 minutes. Very frustratingly, we are seeing a very volatile US dollar at the moment. So the DXY throughout last night had this massive gap. It just completely fell off a cliff. So anyone who is trading into the upside, imagine you were going long on a DXY yesterday, you would have been flashed out and likely would have lost a substantial amount of money. So very, very frustrating. So I didn't do a market analysis this morning because of today's live stream, but this was based on yesterday's analysis of the DXY. Clearly, it was entirely wrong. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm waiting to see how the price reacts at this level. So when London session starts, when the London session starts, I want to likely going to see the DXY continue down here, and maybe it will have a pullback to the 99.238 before then pushing itself even further down into a weekly demand zone, which is where we want to go. So currently it's mostly just a waiting game. We can just see this absolutely massive gap. Huge gap, this huge gap. And also if you're trading fair value gaps, this is exactly where the price will likely retrace back into anyway. So that's my hope. And because of this setup, it will show us how we would be trading the GBP, Euro, the JPY, etc. So I'm very big on the GU, and today what I've also seen here is that we have just entered into a potential liquidity area. There was a slight reaction. We are on the yearly open as well, and these are historically very good resistance zones. But currently, I'm not looking to trade this at the moment. I think I did a little trade earlier today, and I completely got it wrong. We are beginning to see a slight pullback, which is quite interesting. So what I am waiting for on the 15-minute frame is to see the price come back into this area here, and it will likely continue into the upside. If it continues into the upside, then DXY is likely on its way down and could potentially fall into the setup that we have planned for the DXY. Just muting some of my stuff there. It's good, about 10 more minutes until the market opens. Taking a look at gold. Yeah, so what's pretty interesting with gold is that, my gosh, I have a substantial amount of drawings from yesterday's daily market analysis, which, by the way, was relatively accurate. We did see the price retrace back into that zone. Let me just remove some of these. Okay, so on the 4-hour frame, we can see that the gold has entered into a potential liquidity zone. At the moment, it does seem as though, because the news has said that there has been a ceasefire over in the Middle East, and this could trigger a lot of sell-offs for gold. So fundamentally, this aligns with the technical. So if you are looking for shorting positions, it might be a good this might be a good time to short the market. Let me just jump down into the 15-minute frame. So what you'd likely want to do is you'd want to see this lower portion get broken. If it gets broken and we see a full body break, then it might be a good time to enter into that market. Just putting a stop up there and targeting the day's open, as we usually always see with the London session. It often likes to find its way back to the daily, and I think that will align with the 200 EMA as well. So I'll just be waiting to see a very strong momentum push down, and then I'll likely enter into gold into a short position. That's what I'll be looking for. Going back to GBP USD, yeah, it's starting to come down a little bit. Let's see how it reacts here. If it doesn't react very strongly here, we'll likely see it react at this point here, and then could even look at doing a long position from this area here. Stop down here, wherever your entry is going to be. Try and target the upper band of up here. Something like that. That is if we see it come down to here, and then this will be your entry point, and then your exit point here. So that's what I would likely do with GBP USD. If it aligns well with what we're seeing on the DXY. Euro US dollar, okay. They follow a very similar trajectory as the GU, so same thing. I haven't marked this out today, but we can see that there was quite a substantial amount of liquidity resting above this area. What's also pretty good is that we see a potential supply zone here, which it is fallen into quite nicely. I'm on the 4-hour frame. Yeah, so there's on the daily. Okay, we're starting to see some nice breaks of structures into the upside. This really is looking like a potential reversal into the upside. I mean, this all plays very nicely into the fundamentals of the DXY, right? Because if the DXY is going to come back up and then push itself down, maybe even go further, then this is a big trend reversal. People are going to be selling the DXY, they're going to be selling the US dollars, they're going to be buying more risk on assets considering there's a ceasefire. It just plays very, very well into fundamentals. So what I'm waiting for is to just see another push into the down. So I want to see another push into the upside on the DXY, and then begin seeing it push back down into the downside, and then I'll be more confident to enter into a position. Yeah, so I'll be waiting for it to have another push into the downside, push back up, and then we'll be starting to look for positions. So short positions on DXY, long positions on GU. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to see it come up into this zone, the pullback, and then we're entering into a nice long position. So that's really my setups at the moment. It's mostly just waiting. As I said, there might be a nice little pullback here on the GU. And if the reaction is there and we see it enter into the zone, then we'll see a potential reversal and push itself back into the upside. It's about 4 more minutes until the London session starts. So take a look at Bitcoin. So you can see, right, so this really plays nicely into what we can anticipate with the market. We can see that the Bitcoin has just shot up, right? It is completely shot up. Let's ignore some of these lines because they are outdated now. I was anticipating it was going to be bad news with the whole Iran ceasefire. So if it was, then we would have seen a lot of these other trades play out. So what we can see here is that there was a massive amount of buying volume on BTC. And this plays very, very well into the idea that a lot of people are likely going to sell off the DXY and purchase risk on assets. So if we look at, I think, NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500, we should begin to see those going up. And that means a lot of people are selling their US dollars to buy those stocks. And that means the US dollar is going to go down. And all of our Forex currency pairs are going to increase. unless you're looking at USD JPY, then yeah, this is this is going to go down quite aggressively because the US dollar is weakening and the JPY would be strengthening. And so we're going to see quite a substantial sell-off. I don't trade the JU as much at all, actually. But if you're just applying general technicals to this, then you can certainly see that there was potential liquidity here. There is a little bit of a reaction. The price may come up and fill this fair value gap. It could even come up more and enter into one of these supply zones. Highly unlikely. Before then pushing aggressively more into the downside. So we could see something like this. It will come down slightly, come up, and then boom, come all the way back down. So that would be, if you're just applying technicals to that market on its own, then that might be what you'll see. All right, DXY is coming up to the first level of support very, very slowly, I might add. You know what I'll do is I'll remove these squiggly lines. I don't know why my trading view only, whenever I do drawing, it's only squiggly lines, not direct straight lines. Very frustrating. But as I mentioned earlier, we're waiting for this to come down. What's on the economic news today? FOMC GDP growth rate is expected to be really bad. Ooh, so this is even worse for the US dollar, DXY. Fundamentally, it's forecast to be lower GDP quarter over quarter growth in the US. Again, we're just seeing the US dollar has such a high chance of just falling so aggressively. I really hate economic news days, weeks. Very, very frustrating. All right, let's drop down. The London session is just about to begin, so let's see what's happening. We can see that there's a reaction happening here already. I mean, if we see a nice break into the upside of here, may even want to enter from this position and try and get into that liquidity zone that is just resting above and target that liquidity zone. Oh, so shorts on the US dollar, longs on pretty much everything else. Oh, except for gold. Looking at shorts for gold at the moment. Oh. Okay, so London session's just started. Let's see how it is playing out. Yeah, it's a nice little push into the downside. Really, this market has been so sporadic. I mean, look at this. It's just incredible. It wasn't even part of a trading session either. So if I open up my trading sessions, here we go. Okay, you're gonna see a lot of random colors and boxes now, but this blue box is the Asian session, and down here we have the New York session and the London session from yesterday. And so we can see that outside of those sessions, there was just this massive, huge impulse into the upside, and I'm assuming that a lot of traders last night was staying up waiting to see what Trump announces about the Iranian ceasefire. And clearly there was a ceasefire, and wow, pushed that market up aggressively. So we're just being run by fundamentals at the moment. Very, very frustrating time. Hopefully the technicals are going to jump back in very soon. And with that, I think we've got 2 weeks going back to normal with technicals. And with that, we should see our trades begin to play out a little bit nicer. See a wave 5, a wave 5 move from 100 now to today's low. That should make wave B from 1006, talking about the DXY. 1006 064. So from here, and to today's low, which is down here. And then I'm just so what I'm doing is I'm drawing out an Elliott wave. We have a trader who exclusively trades the harmonic Elliott wave, and so I'm just taking a look at some of the things that he has suggested for the DXY. Just trying to mark them out at the moment. I think we're beginning to see a little bit of a pullback on the DXY. So let me try and get in here a little bit closer. Let's see a nice clean break above this line, nice breaker structure into the upside. And if we see another nice little breaker structure into the upside, then we are likely heading toward that fair value gap, which is that massive void. Oh, that's just incredible. I've not seen that in the market before. Crazy how the AIFO live stream first live stream session, and this is the market I get given. Absolutely remarkable. Remarkably unlucky. Yeah. Yeah, so just so you know, if you don't know what a fair value gap is something such as well, let me jump out to a higher time frame. See if I can find a few here. Well, firstly, that's a huge one. Yeah, you can kind of see them here. This is kind of like a fair value gap, I guess. You know, the market dropped aggressively and the price comes back into that FVG before then pushing itself down. You know, similarly, this would be a pretty good one. I mean, it's all subjective, really. Anyone, however they trade, you need 3 candles. Some people might say they all need to be the same candle. From what I've read before, they don't need to be, but there needs to be a very big gap between the 2 candles. So there's a big gap here, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, and then candle 2. The middle part of it would be your fair value gap, and the price always has a tendency to retrace back toward it before then reversing down again. I don't use fair value gaps in my trading. Not something that I personally use, but I know a lot of traders out there who do use them, and they found that to be their successful strategy. So, of course, if you find that strategy, then stick with it, refine it, you know, continue to use it, especially in prop trading. You know, prop trading is one of those industries that require you to be just so accurate in how you trade, and it forces you to do that. Every prop trading company does, right? They force you because of the rules that they push onto your account. And so once you find that strategy that you're then able to not circumvent but stay within the rules of a prop trading firm, then that's the strategy you stick with. Yeah, so I know a lot of people do use fair value gaps for their trading, and it works very well. Okay, gold looking good. Very, very nice. Yeah, it's a bit of a what's it called, a cup and handle. Is that the stock chart pattern? Looks like a very nice cup and handle here forming, but hopefully it doesn't, because that's a bullish that's a bullish pattern. That means it will come down here to about halfway and then aggressively move into the upside. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we're on the 15-minute frame, so should be okay. So like I said, once we see a nice cross below this previous low, if it's a full body candle break, then we could wait for a pullback. So it could potentially come down here, and it would likely form a nice little area for the market to come and pull back into, and then that's when you'd likely want to enter into that short position. That's how I would play it. So you just gotta wait for that confirmation. Hate waiting for confirmation. It's very frustrating. Oh, wow. Look at this. GBP, USD. Look at that. It is pushing aggressively down. It's very annoying because I was shorting the market earlier and I got stopped out. Should have waited for the London session to open. So this is nice. This is a really good, it's a really nice push into the downside. As I said, I would be waiting for the price to retrace back into this zone. And when it does retrace into this zone, I want to see what happens. If there is a reaction and we begin to see the price pushing itself back up again, you'd likely want to enter into a long position. But for the time being, let's just see how it plays out. That means the DXY is pushing itself up now as well. Here we go. I think it's just trying to get back to that gap. It's just trying to get back to this big gap up here. Ah. It's just so tempting to enter a trade when you see something like this. You know, it's so tempting. It's very frustrating because when you enter into a short position, when you see something like this, and then immediately it begins to reverse. It's happened to me so many times over my years of trading. Very, very frustrating. You know, it's like that FOMO, that feeling that I'm missing out on a really good trade, but in reality, it's sometimes it's just an illusion, right? It's comes down, it is grabbing some type of liquidity, it's pushing some people out of the market. It's just a nice little pullback. I mean, if we got a Fibonacci, it is going to the 0.5 fib. We own the 15-minute frame though, to be fair. Usually best to do your higher time frame analysis and your entries on the lower time frame, but in the lower time frame, on the if we applied the fib retracement, you can see it's just dropped down back to 0.5. Maybe this would be your signal to enter into a long position. And drop down even lower. Yeah, very nice push into the downside. Oh, so a lot of trading is just a waiting game. Oh wow, look at that. My goodness, look at that. Look at that strong rejection candle. Oof. Yeah. Oh, that's painful to watch because I was in a short position and got stopped out earlier. Very painful to watch that. All right, let's head over to DXY. Yeah, it looks like DXY is coming up. It's coming up now. Gotta wait another 4 minutes until this candle closes. If the candle closes above this line, this breaker structure line, and it's a full body, then the chances are becoming higher that the price is going to continue and retrace back into this fair value gap. And then we just want to wait for a change of character or break a structure, and then you'd want to short the US dollar. BTC, let me guess, is it's kind of stationary. Honestly, Bitcoin just follows. It's like the small brother, or the really really small brother of the financial markets, and so trading the BTC, you need to be so hawkish on what's going on all the Forex currency pairs. There's no way around it. You can't. I don't see trading BTC as a standalone financial instrument to trade. So what's nice though is that if we are applying technicals, you can see that the price has come up on the 4 hour. It has grabbed liquidity resting above this level. And if we let me just draw this out here. So this would be your potential demand zone. If we were applying a very similar structure, imagine if the fundamentals or the technicals were just all aligned, then this, in theory, should be going down. You know, should be going down back into this little zone here. In theory. Let me take a look on the 15-minute frame. Where did that big thing go? There we go. Yeah. Don't know. You could have a really tight stop loss on this one, but I don't know. It looks like the price came up, aggressively push a lot of people out of their positions. You can see that because of this sharp reaction on the 15-minute frame as well. Price came up, a lot of positions got closed, and it just continued to push itself down. So BTC might be on its way down. I don't know. But if technicals were aligned, that would be the position I would be looking at, shorting it. Maybe not this far down. I'd likely aim for something around here on BTC. All right, let's drop back over to GBP USD, the GU. I would remove that then, and this would be the level that we're looking at today to see whether or not it does reverse in back into the upside and grabs liquidity up here. As I said, there will be resting liquidity up here. We're just in this really annoying consolidating market as well. It's just going up. Yeah. So hopefully we're going to see the price retrace back. Like that would be the long position I would be looking for. We are changing that direction. Let me zoom out even more, actually. You know. Let me drop out to the week. The weekly's been pretty good. Yeah, so on the weekly, if you look at this, we're actually in an uptrend on the GU. We're actually trending up. And if you take a look here, this would be that. That would have been the demand zone. So you can see, and why it's a demand zone. Sorry, there was a little problem with the internet. That's why it was off for a little bit of time. I'm noticing that there is a little bit of a delay in the live stream, so we will try and solve that for the next stream in the future. Not much I can do about it at the moment. Okay, yeah, GU market is still just very undecisive. We're not seeing huge amounts of volume into either direction. Head over to the Euro US dollar. Okay, we are within that zone, within one of our liquidity zones. Over onto the 4-hourly. Yeah, we can see that there is a little bit of a rejection or reaction happening in this area, and so we could see the price potentially heading back or having a pullback into this fair value gap. Very similarly, what I'm hoping for with the DXY, and then we should begin to see the the euro dollar push itself back into the upside. That is what I'm hoping to see today. If if I was looking to enter into a trade on that. Let's return to gold. Okay, gold's starting to come down a little bit. I think gold has been pushed up quite too much quite recently. And so if a lot of investors are now they want to move their money into other financial instruments like the stock market, the crypto industry, then they may start liquidating their gold, and that is likely what we're seeing, and also aligning with our technicals. So finally, we're seeing gold move. It's moving down, which is very, very good. We want to see a breaker structure, full body break. For those of you, if you are looking to enter into a short and you're very click happy, then you may want to enter there. What often happens is we will see the price then try and retrace back up. So let me just demonstrate what I mean when I say that. So it will come down here, and because it'll be quite, there should be a bit of an aggression here. This then opens up the door to seeing a potential area where the price will come down. It will then come back up to, I don't know why I've drawn it this way. It will come back up into this, hopefully will come back up. Sometimes it doesn't, it just continues. And that could act as your level of confirmation to then enter into that position to go down even lower. That is what I'm hoping for XAU today. BTC, finally, we're seeing it move. My goodness. As I said, though, with BTC, it could just be coming down to take a lot of these people's stops out. If it does come down here and we see an aggressive reaction, then we could see it just snowball into the upside, because it would stop so many people out, forcing them to buy back their contracts. And when you get stopped out, you need to buy, and this then pushes the market up. And that's what we see with these big, long, aggressive moves. Most of the time, people are just getting stopped out of the market and forcing them to exit their positions. And then consolidation is just lower volume, lower volatility. People are undecided; they don't know where to go. So BTC is looking okay. Obviously, we have a very long way to go if you wanted to TP on BTC. Back to the DXY. Finally, it is not finally, but it is slowly getting there. Seeing a nice push down. As I said, I want it to enter into this area. I want to see it push down a little bit more. And if it pushes down here, and then we see a nice clean break of structure with a full body break above this line, something like this, and then we could see it go up. That's what I'm hoping for with that one, but it's struggling to move. I thought it would be a lot more liquid today, especially after seeing this massive gap, this huge FVG. GBP, okay. Drop back out to the 15 minute. Oh, okay, yeah, we're starting to see that reaction now. That's frustrating. I was hoping it would come down a little bit more. I was hoping it would come down to about here. That would have been a much nicer. That would have given me more confidence that to enter into a long position. But I'll continue to wait. You can also have a look at the community. Gosh, TradingView community is just incredibly. It's just full of people using AI to write analysis, and then having all of these bot. I don't know why people have bot accounts on TradingView. It's very odd. Do you get money? You get money for posting on TradingView community? Makes no sense to me. Maybe they're just trying to look good, but majority of the information on TradingView from the community is wrong. most of the time. All right, well, what we could be seeing is, as I drew earlier, that little 0.5 fib retracement, and now it does just want to continue into the upside. I mean, the volume is there. We are seeing the volume push it up slightly. Let's go over to the USD JPY. Yeah, it tried to come back up, but it completely failed. Yeah. I'll just head out to the hour frame, the 4-hourly frame. Yeah, you just see these huge FVGs at the moment, right? These massive fair value gaps, and the price just seems to want to ignore them. How annoying. If you have a blatant fair value gap and the price ignores it, is that a viable strategy? I mean, of course, I guess a lot of people do use it, but just crazy. Crazy. You see this huge gap, this huge push into the downside. Very, very unfortunate, very frustrating trading. All right, let's just stick to watching the GU for the time being. Maybe swap between the GU, BTC, gold, and the DXY. Yeah. Why is my trading sessions starting at 8:30? Should be 8 a.m. Very annoying. Let me... Oh, I'll update that later. How very frustrating that. Yeah, so what I'm looking at the moment is the Asian session. So you can see the Asian session push the price up aggressively higher. London session usually has a tendency to be, don't like to use the word, but manipulative. And within a manipulative session, we will see it come down, do whatever it wants to do, and then push up. We don't seem to be seeing the London volume that aggressively today. Came up, nice break of structure. Yeah. By the way, this doesn't mean I'm in a position. I'm just anticipating whether or not when the price comes down here and we see a potential break of structure around here or change of character, maybe it'll come down again to another little area here. Yeah, you can add layers and layers and layers of confirmations, but until you press the button to go, it's very hard to determine a perfect entry. Okay, let's head back over to DXY, see how DXY is doing. Okay, so it's finally re-entered that area. We've finally seen, so we can see that the price came up and it's come back down into this area. I don't know why my drawing, the lines are always squibbly. So what I'm now hoping for to see is that it comes up, it breaks this structure and continues going up into that FVG. That's what I'm hoping to see now. See if the London session can deliver on that. Just drop down to the 5-minute frame. So let me quickly go through all of the positions I'm currently looking at for now. Okay. With the DXY, oh wow, I need to really zoom out. Yeah, these are big. This will take a few days to play out. What I'm hoping to see is the price come down. It doesn't seem like it. I mean, hopefully it does continue to come down, but on the lower time frame, we can see that it wants to go up slightly, which is good. Also, I want to see the price come down to this level, and the reason for this level is because we can see a little bit of liquidity resting below these previous lows over here. I want to see a reaction. Hopefully, the FVG hasn't been taken out, or a potential supply zone is then created if the price now goes up into the FVG, goes up to this area here, before then pushing itself down, taking out these ascending lows over here, and that would be my play, right? That's for DXY, and that's on the 4-hour frame. On to GBP USD, a relatively similar thing.